I would like to call the August 10th, 2023 regular board meeting to order at 6:21. Our apologies to everybody. If you will join me, I will lead us in our invocation, and then if you would be kind enough, Mr. Williams, you will lead us in the pledge. Sure. Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful afternoon, this opportunity to come together and conduct the business of our schools. Please bless our faculty, staff, and most importantly our students as we go through this wonderful school year. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Going with me?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dr. Thomas, do you have any amendments to this agenda?
No, sir, I do not.
I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Ms. Gibson. Do I hear a second? Mr. Family. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Motion carries 4-0. The agenda is approved. The next item, item 5. Dr. Thomas, would you please take over and give us your report?
Sure, be happy to. Thank you, Chairman Garfield. At this time, I'm going to turn the portion of the meeting over to our Chief Financial Officer, Amy Smith, for a brief update on our financial standing.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. This thing is either really close or it's really tall. All right, we'll review our general fund. Of course, at this time of year, we haven't had too terribly much activity. We've issued over 400 purchase orders so far this year. In general fund, we've collected 0.82% of our tentatively budgeted revenue and expended 9.80% of our expenditures. Our consolidation of funds, this reflects expenditures through July, but does not have any transfers made at this point. Debt service, of course, is at 0. Capital outlay, our SPLOST revenue for July 2023 was $733,334.76. Interest earned was $969.24. Expenditures total $70,068.29 for the month-end SPLOST balance of $12,003,657.02. Don't have a lot of activity in there at this moment. Special revenue funds, again, this is where we haven't collected a whole lot. We just started. This is where we spend the money first and then we get it back. We've collected 0.2% of our budgeted revenue and expended 2.21% of our budgeted expenditures for those special revenue funds. That includes federal grants, school food, and at this time it's very slow. So next month we'll have a lot more expenditures and revenue for you, we hope. Do y'all have questions on that report? That's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. This time I'll turn it over to Mr. Wallace, our Chief Operations Officer, for a brief operations and construction update.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. Board members, thanks for the opportunity to come before you this evening. My report includes quite a few updates, but I'm really going to highlight the safety and security updates as we got the year started here. The front office at the high school being the biggest one we took on over the summer. It's 95% complete. The only thing that's left is the glass going into the reception area, but the activation door locks into the school and into the office area itself are complete, and that was the main safety issue there. So it's turned out really nice. When it's complete, hopefully by next board meeting, I will get you guys some pictures, show you what it looks like. They're really proud of it down there. And then we have some new cameras that are part of the JMS upgrades that will be installed. I got the date just today on that on 8/25, so we'll have that coming up pretty soon. And then I wanted to point out the Centegix badge system, which is what we carry on us to be able to silently activate a lockdown or a staff alert. Every staff member in the county has that capability, and we decided to re-up with that company for another 4 years, and they will be integrating that new technology over the semester, which works off GPS whereas the last one worked off of technology that we own in our buildings through our network. So it is a little more high tech, and I call it the 2.0 version. So looking forward to getting that in. Construction update. The field house, we have a couple items I want to bring up to you. The geotech work was completed and the report has been completely submitted, and the architect and the engineers and the construction manager have that report. And then we had a good meeting here with the architects and engineers and the CM, the construction manager, about just some things to get finalized. And we got some good news out of that meeting of some things that we were kind of interested in that would go through the engineering process, like sprinkling the building. And we found out that that won't be an expense we'll have to do down there. We can only have to do part of the building, so that'll be a savings. And then drag and dry paving, I know we've had some discussion about this, and I want to pursue carrying on with this RFP without looking at adding that extra lane because of the nature of the drawings that the DOT has for the roundabout. It is going to come quite a ways up there, and I don't have an exact timeline, but I'm trying to get that from them to try to give me an idea of how much time we're talking about. But it could be very soon, or it could be months, or even a year or two later. So, but it is on their docket. And then the Harmony Playground, got some drainage issues down there that we have been discussing, as you guys are aware. So looking at some different ideas for how to manage that water down there and make sure that we have that playground ready to go for those kids. So I know the teachers that's important to them as well, to be able to get those kids out to play every day. Transportation, Mr. Harris, Todd Harris, our transportation director, he reported, I almost want to point out a few things that he reported on. The start of the school year has been pretty good, just some bus stop times, the number of kids we transport changes every day anyway throughout the year, but especially the first. A lot of parents take their kids at the beginning, and then as the days go by, they put them on the bus sometimes, and so it changes our route times a little bit. But yeah, things are going well down there. And then they had a safety renewal meeting and department meeting at the high school on July 31st. We got a lot of information and some training there that was important and part of the law that we have to follow. And then we have actually 2 drivers and a technician that they're putting before you this evening on PAR. Pending your approval, we'll be able to add some experienced people to our staff and our teams. We're excited about that. And we can always use some more drivers, for backup and whatnot. But we would like to have, a few more. So anyone that's interested, please see the transportation department, talk to Mr. Harris or some of the folks down there, and they'll get you fixed up. Even if it's part-time, we got a lot of people that just go part-time for us. So we are looking at this new routing system, as you guys are integrating a new routing system, and so the platform is called Traversa. We about have that complete, and the data import for the students is up and running, and we'll replace the manual processes that we have in place now with the older system. So it'll be a little more efficient, I feel like, and it will definitely help us on the delivery, accuracy and getting students added into the system when they're new and come in. It won't be such a lagging time. And then we're looking at a few different kinds of software that we're looking at through Tyler Technologies, who is the owner of Traversa, and a thing called Bus Bulletin, which will help us communicate with parents. But the technology piece would include tablets on each bus. It would communicate, load the routes anytime we add a student in, and it would affect the routes and show them on a GPS type tablet, and give us GPS for the bus so we can know where they're at, and parents will be able to access where the bus is and know if times are changed or if the bus is running late or whatever. That would help us out a ton, because like you've seen even today, there's factors that happen, weather and different things that can change that up for us and cause us some issues. So that's exciting technology that we're looking at to put in place. And then the purchase of new buses, Mr. Harris is collecting bids and going through that process now, and I believe we'll have a recommendation next month on how we want to proceed with that. And then the last thing is just that he's pressing forward with his department assessments and research and observations to drive our department and our vision going forward. Been really, really good so far, and I appreciate everything he's doing and all the work he's doing down there for our department. From the nutrition side of things, Beth Thompson, our Director of Nutrition, said they had a good week to start out with, and several days following. So she just wants to thank the administrators and staff who assisted in making the cafeteria lines run smoothly, getting us started back, and that everyone was patient and positive. We appreciate that. And then the free and reduced update, the new district's certification with Medicaid, our free and reduced numbers have increased exponentially. So that's good. That's less that we don't know are out there, or maybe would have qualified and didn't, or didn't have the paperwork. So that has really helped a lot, according to Beth. And the first 30 days of school is that period. They get the grace period, so that ends, I believe, on the 12th of September. And then, of course, we continue to reach out to those who have not turned in paperwork, or who have had paperwork before and didn't fill it out for this year. So she's busy doing that, communicating, and I think I've maybe beat Beth out of the central office maybe 3 or 4 times since I've been up here. She works very hard, very late, trying to get this stuff done, so I appreciate her work and the work of Todd Harris, our new Director of Transportation, and that of Gail Smith. Got a great team and really appreciate everything they do and have done to get us started here this year. So any questions that I can answer for you guys?
You were talking about bus bids, and I think you told us, my memory is not great. The Thomas buses, that was the latest buses we bought. How are those compared with the Bluebirds?
So money-wise, they were significantly cheaper when we did that. But you mean like performance, operationally? A lot of the drivetrains the same engine, transmission, drivetrain. They're lighter because they use more plastic than steel, so that accounts for some of the money savings. We haven't seen any real performance problems. Had some air conditioner issues, but where we are seeing the big difference is when there is a warranty or some kind of problem, there's a little bit more of a lag in getting them there, because I don't think they have the manpower, the technicians that Yancey does, Peach State versus Yancey. So that's been the biggest difference. But performance of the buses, we've had some drivers that are like, oh, this is great, really love them. And some drivers are like, I don't know, kind of partial to the Bluebird. So it's personal preference for them. But as far as operationally, they pretty much run the same gear. We're all automatic, all diesel, and all air conditioned, pretty much the same thing. But the driver's view is a little different up front. There's some things to get used to, different mirrors. So yeah, overall it's been real well received by the people who got them. So yeah.
That's good.
Yes, ma'am.
I've gotten a lot of calls about school bus discipline. Do we have a rubric on that we've given out, that we are going by?
Yeah, so Mr. Harris could probably speak to that, but he's got a Safe Rider program that he has seen be very, very successful in the other places he's been. And so he is wanting to implement that along with, and correct me if I'm wrong, with the administrators, obviously, at the schools. You know, it's a little bit of a touchy thing when you're disciplining students from a school, you know, because you're determining somewhat of the punishment. When you write that, then the school has to take whatever that punishment is. So it's important that administration be involved in that process, because we need their input. But just matching up what the infraction is with the punishment and being consistent is the main thing. Because when you stretch it across 6 schools, the expectations are different from the elementary to the high school kids, of course. So, but yeah, he's very close to having that in play. I mean, he's given me the draft and shown us exactly what he wants to do. And then I had turned over the work we've been doing with the advisory council, because we got a lot of great input from them and trying to implement that into this process as well. So yeah, that's an important piece to this, because that's important to the drivers, important to the parents, important to the kids, important to the administrators and the teachers as well. So yeah, that's a big piece to the puzzle for sure. Yes, ma'am. Any other questions I can answer? Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Wallace. At this time, we're going to call up Chris Parker. Chris is going to be speaking to us about our new teacher orientation. We had a very successful orientation 2 weeks ago with several new folks in Pickens County.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Thomas. Board members, appreciate the opportunity to give our human resources update for the year. We, in human resources, we're trying to recruit, support, retain, protect, engage, organize what we're doing, put it up there to start. We're going down, Martha. We'll talk about stuff. I'm gonna be quick. This is what we hired this year. We hired 91 new people. Okay, 17 through ESS. Those would be the parapros. The rest of them through us. And if you want to see what the breakdown was, we put it up there for you. About 86% of the people were here last year back, and the 14 are new. So we're gonna get to that in a minute. But excited to have a great school year. And the HR department, you know how it is. From February to about now, we do most of the new hire onboarding, and it's only a 2-man team. You know, it's just me and Alex Prince. So we've had a hectic time, but it's been a lot of good people, and really encouraged by these 91 people, including some of these principals, who, by the way, I go off script and say, I'm really enjoying working with these principals. So they're doing a great job at their school. And yeah, how about that? I think that's the first time we ever had a round of applause in the superintendent report. So
Won't be the last.
I'm gonna consider this a success already. But I did want to break down who these people are. So we have 632 people work here. Okay, that's counting people. Some are grant funded, some are through ESS maybe, but everybody that works here is 632 people. And 91 of them are new, and that's what they were. So go to the next thing, Mark. If you want to know what we've been doing in HR, I put this stuff up there. We're always onboarding, always board and off board, meaning we're bringing people on, the new hires, answering whatever questions that are current employees, and then working with the people as they leave the district. But we did 4 things in this time since February to now that I wanted to bring up. And one was we spent time on salary and benefit study, working at other districts, looking at what people do, looking what the area average was, and working with our people, you know, Amy and Patrick and Christy and Chris and the principals. They were great. And between all of us, we're able to work with the board, you guys, to put a plan together where nearly everyone got a significant salary increase. And so I'm really proud of that. I'm excited about that opportunity. And we're also looking at a new benefits broker starting January 1st, campus benefits, which will be, we think, a little more robust, a few better things for our employees for their optional benefits, like dental insurance, vision, critical care, life insurance, things like that. We have NFP is the company we use now. We're using a new company starting January 1st. We're rolling that out. So that's been something we're working on, but I think it's going to be really good. Really excited about what they've been able to offer so far, and working with them so far has been really good. We tried to increase our employee portal. We had an app that had some things on it that was effective. We enhanced that. We'll talk about that in a minute. We have new teacher orientation. We're increasing our student teacher program, and we start our second group of our Aspiring Leaders program starts on Monday. So really excited to continue that program. We'll be here Monday at 4 o'clock. Anybody wants to join us for Aspiring Leaders program? So excited about that. And then also we're constantly doing compliance. This time of year we're doing, you know, employee handbooks and Title IX work comp, GBI stuff, you know, compliance modules, contracts, stuff like that. So that's really what we've been working on. But if you go down, Martha, you can see 2 things we want to highlight was new teacher orientation. We had 53 new teachers. We bring them in the day before the teachers are supposed to really be here. And they spend half the day with us at the district and the other half at their school. You know, it was really great this year because, you know, many of the principals were also in attendance. Not only were they there to help, they were also a client, you know. So they were there, and they were able to take their people back, and they did a great job. And Alex did most of the work getting things ready, and Sharma Martin. But we gave them a ton of things. We had a lot of free stuff. A lot of community came out, and Ms. Gartrell spoke to them. It was a good time, and really good feedback from that day. That I think people left feeling like they were supported, and also getting the information they needed, which was the 2 things we wanted to get accomplished. If you scroll down, Martha, you can see the other thing we talked about is that we want to make information as easy as possible to gather. And so now, if you go to our website or to the app, you have to log in as an employee to do all this. But if you're an employee, you log in. We have more information there than we've ever had. Thanks to many of my colleagues here who sent me things. We've been able to have as many, you know, you can get on there and call me on my phone if you want. Don't try it out. But we didn't put y'all's number on there. But mine's on there. So you can get on there, you can call straight. It looks the same on your phone or on the website. It's individualized for each person. So any links they should need, any kind of anything really, in directory, benefits information, compliance things, work calendars, all that should be on there. So we're really proud of putting our information, I think, better than a lot of districts have really. And we're proud we've been able to offer that to our people. All right, scroll down, Martha. Last thing. So kind of said, where are we going? You know, we're constantly, our goal is always to recruit, support, and retain. That's all we do in HR. Like I said, just me and Alex, but we're just going to recruit, support, and retain. And we're trying to find as many ways possible to do that. Strategic plan, we came up with these objectives, but scroll down just a little bit more, Martha. And you can see our objectives, our goals, but I wanted to highlight that last one because I assume it'll be about a year before I do this again, so I don't plan on being up here making all these jokes every month. But going after Amy and Mr. Wallace. But I do, in front of everybody in the camera, no Pickens, I do think we want it to be known that we want to increase the retention rate. We want to increase the positive climate ratings. We want to see a better number there next year than that 86%. So we're going to try to get that number over 90, you know, and that's our goal. So it's a pretty lofty goal considering the nature of just how jobs go now. People are going to turn over jobs. But I just thought it was important to say that that's what we're trying to do in our department. That's our department goal and our department objectives, and you know, we're not going to shy away from them. So you guys have any questions for me, and then I'll be done.
Well, I'd like to say, I'm glad that you're doing exit interviews. We have not always done that in the system. I think you can gather a lot of information from exit interviews.
Yeah, we did. We are, one of the goals for this year is to do an even better job of those. A lot of them are handled virtually, and we try to do a little more in person or a little more personable versions of them. But yes, they can be very valuable.
I'm glad you're doing
And I hope there's a lot less of them to do.
Yeah, that's true. But I appreciate you doing that.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Chairman Garza, I've got just a few pieces of information I'd like to share just in my comments. We do have milestones data from the state has come in, and that came in right at the start of the school year, and just wanted to share, we have 20 high stakes tests. Whether it be the end of grade test for grades 3 through 8 or our end of course test for our high school students. So we've got 20 of those, and out of those 20 high stakes tests, when we look at the top 2 levels, that's proficient and distinguished, we had 11 areas where we improved from last year, which is very good. One of our core beliefs is we strive for continuous improvement in student achievement. And so looking at last year's data compared to this year's data, we see we've done that in 11 out of the 20. And then out of the 20 high stakes tests, again, when we look at the proficient and distinguished levels, the top 2, we outperformed the state in 10 of those areas. So I just wanted to share that information with the board. Another piece of information I'd like to share, our high school students have had the option of dual enrollment classes for several years. That is where they take college and high school, classes where they can earn both college and high school credit. And we've got great relationships with our local colleges. I do want to give some praise to Chattahoochee Tech. We currently have 170 high school students taking at least one dual enrollment class through Chattahoochee Tech, and Daniel Bell's here with us today, so thank you, Daniel, for all your work with that. To give you an idea, we had 134 students take at least one class in the spring, so that's really outstanding. And again, that's free of charge, and kids can earn both college and high school credit, so really proud of that. And then lastly, our numbers for enrollment, if you can scroll just a little bit more, please. You know, today we had enrolled 4,073 students in our school system. We ended the spring at 4,023. Just wanted to share that information with you. That's all I have, Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. My compliments to everybody. Mr. Bell, fantastic, sir. Thank you.
I think everybody deserves a big hand. It seems like we've done a really good job.
Since you brought Mr. Bell's name up, I'll just tell you a personal little vignette here. I've been in physical therapy for a surgery, and I was talking to a couple of the therapists yesterday and asked them, you know, how did you decide to do this, and what are your goals, where are you going to school, and that sort of thing. And your name came up. And they said, we just loved Mr. Bell, and he helped us so much to get on this path. So the community is being impacted with the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Mrs. The next portion of our meeting is our action items. The first item is approval of personnel. Do I have a motion to approve the personnel report as presented?
I'll make that motion.
Mrs. Finley. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Ms. Gibson. Is there any discussion? All in favor? 4-0, the motion carries. Next item is consent agenda. That includes the approval of the financial reports, approval of the sex education curriculum for the 2023-2024 school year. There is no change from our previous curriculum of sexual education. Request for revision of policy of student attendance, minutes from 2 previous board meetings, and surplus items from the SPED department. May I have a motion to approve the following items contained in the consent agenda?
So moved.
Ms. Gibson. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Mrs. Finley, is there any discussion? All in favor? Next item, public participation. Dr. Thomas, have we received any requests for public participation at this meeting?
No, sir, we have not.
Dr. Thomas, have you got any comments or anything that you would like to add before we?
Just want to say thank you to our principals for a very good start to the school year. And I do want to introduce one principal. I don't think he was here in July when we met, but Dr. Josh Heath, if you'll stand up, please. Dr. Heath is our principal at Pickens Junior High School. Comes to us from Henry County. I'm glad he's here. So everybody else we introduced in July, but want to make sure that everybody sees Dr. Heath. So again, very, very proud of the job we've done to open the school year, and I appreciate all the work that our principals and admin have done. And I think one of the things Mr. Parker even touched on in his presentation, we have 0 openings right now. There's other districts who had several teaching openings when they started school, but we were not one of them. So thank you to our admin to fill in all those spots prior to the start of the school year.
Next item, board comments. I believe we have a football scrimmage Friday night. Go Dragons.
We gotta be more specific, because I think we're playing the Dragons, actually.
Oh, you were right.
The right Dragons, right?
Go the green and
Yeah.
white Dragons. Is there no further comment? I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting. May I have a second? Mr. Williams. Is there any discussion? All in favor? 4-0, the motion carries. We are adjourned at 6:48 p.m.